Whenever it comes down to stories where our people had to always fight and in many cases lost land because of these eminent domain laws they got in place, which they conveniently just use primarily on black landowners and property owners. And that's what this story is about. Now, this is one of these things that also occurred in my own family. And we all know about Josephine Wright, the 94-year-old that died fighting for her property down in Hilton Head Island. And it happens way, way too much when it comes down to our people. And it's not just land and homes, it's also businesses and even churches, black churches, where they have done things like this. And it's a very historic thing. So if you don't have family members that can fight and keep the fight going, hopefully, that's what I'm hoping in the case of Josephine Wright, that her offspring will continue the fight and keep the property in the family. So, that's how they got the place all rigged up and then got the nerve to tell you to pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and they know everything is rigged. So black families are fighting back to keep their generational land. So across generations, black families strive to secure land that could be passed down to their children. So the one family that they're talking about in this story is the Smith family. And Captain William Smith, after breaking free from slavery and serving in the Civil War, Smith saved up enough money to buy property at Gwynn Island in Virginia. His family became middle to upper class due to their agriculture business, which is an anomaly for black people in the 1800s and 1900s. Actually, we were the ones, our forefathers were the ones doing agriculture, in chattel slavery. Now, these folks are very disingenuous. They want you to believe the only thing we did was handle cotton and things of that. It was way deeper than that. It was way deeper. But this is why you can't let people that don't look like you try to tell your history, you know. So anyway, they were run out of their land and home, and they were forced to leave all of their belongings behind. And, we know the white mob stories. We know it all too well. So, there's another story coming out of North Carolina, Nakina. And this was a black family that had 60 acres of land. 60 acres of land. That's a lot of land. And they considered the property special, and it served as a generational retreat for the family. And, wow, they got a lot of offers for the land from developers. Evelyn Booker and her siblings and heirs to the land stood firm in preserving their family legacy. And they were bombarded weekly with letters and texts from investors. Okay, which means they're closing in and about to make a move on stealing the property. So, back in 1910, African Americans, including the Smith family ancestors, owned a whopping 16 to 19 million acres of land. A lot of it was in rural areas, according to the USDA Economic Research Service. But over the years, 90% of that vanished due to systemic racism. And see, this is why I tell y'all the government, the whole government is racist. Because when all this land was being stolen by not only citizens, but also developers, and this government was fully aware that all of this black owned land was being taken away and they never did anything. Just like in the case of Josephine Wright, they never do anything to step in and put a stop to it. So that's a lot. 90% of that land is darn near gone. The land was lost through threats, coercion, and exclusion from programs designed to aid white landowners during tough times like the Depression, according to NBC News. In the South, where racial tensions ran high, many black families struggled to secure their property rights. Without written wills, legal systems, and local governments often turning a blind eye, they leave families to rely on informal methods like word of mouth or to pass down land. But instead of securing future prosperity, the lack of official documentation leads to court hearings and a lot of land loss. This is where heirs to property hunters come in, developers who prey on families caught in these murky ownership battles. But a lot of their own people are in these situations. They don't look in Wilmington, North Carolina. These white folks got homes that they stole from the original black owners. When the riot took place down there, none of them got deeds. None of them got deeds. So it's an area that was once predominantly black and now it's all white. And all of the land and the homes and everything they live in, they stole. And you notice these developers don't go and challenge them. You know why? Because those folks look just like them. They're not going to bother them, although they know they got shady paperwork for those homes or none at all. So, ladies and gentlemen, the split property makes it easy for the hunter to own a fraction of the property on their generational land. So, they often will find these black homeowners. They seek out to look for them, by the way. They do. They look for areas where it's a lot of black ownership, especially an old area where it's a lot of elderly people there. And those are the areas they will target. And our elders should not leave this world fighting to keep their land. But it is happening to them like that. The rate of, and I'm going to call it what I think it is, land theft, is not only egregious, but should be considered criminal and is being exploited by people with legal backgrounds, ties to local tax offices and courts. Ryan Thompson, this is what he said. Black landowner security. Evelyn Booker knows the game all too well. She is urging other black landowners to do the work to secure their property rights through proper channels. Her family story is one of resilience. Her grandfather bought the land and left it to his children, who passed it down to Booker and her siblings. Growing up, Booker saw the challenges Black landowners face trying to secure generational land. However, despite the hurdles, the connection to land runs deep. Her great niece, who filmed Bug Hill, captures the essence of the family's bond with the land, has been featured at festivals and on PBS. You can feel the presence of our parents when you're there, Booker said. So much history happened in those 60 acres. We're not letting go of any of it, she told NBC News. No, and you shouldn't have to. Once anybody obtain land, there should be no developers and investors and people coming along to run you out of that land. There is tons and tons of open land here in America. There's tons of land that's not even being utilized here in America. There is no excuse for these people to keep targeting Black neighborhoods and trying to run them out and take the property. They have been doing this to us forever now, and they have never stopped doing it. And, I promise you, y'all, they're helping illegals get into homes now. I know California, they're coming up with a program to help them buy homes there in California. I promise you, nobody's going to ever run them off of the land. And they're not even born and raised here, and nobody's going to bother them on their land. You watch. When they get in their homes and have their properties, it's not going to be no eminent domain popping up. It's not going to be some excuse or building a highway through the area. They're not going to have to face any of those things. But our folks, on the other hand, they'll come up with any reason. Oh, we're going to need to put a development here. Oh, we need to put a highway here. Oh, we need to put a stadium here. Oh, yeah, it can't go in your neighborhood. It's got to come in the Black neighborhood. They've been playing these games forever now. And they're only doing these things just so you can never pass anything down to the next generation. They don't want that to happen. They don't want it to happen. So, y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.